Hello, everyone. It's Daniel here, uh, coming at you with another video. My first, I guess, official video. That's not a welcome video. Um, yeah, it's been a few months. I just spent some months in Maine. It's a great state. But anyways, today I'm here to talk about uh, relationships versus hookups, and basically, um, especially involving me and what I'm trying to look for. So my history with both of those things, I guess, is uh, relationships. I've been in two relationships. I mentioned this in my last video. I was in a 3-month long relationship and a 7-month long relationship. And those both occurred within the same year. But that was like 2 or 3 years ago. My first relationship was when I was 20, and I'm 23 now. So, um, yeah. So I've had some experience with relationships. I was in 2 different relationships within a year, but never before that, and haven't been in one since. So I've been single for a few years. And then in terms of my experience with hookups, I have only had one instance where I would consider it like genuinely a hookup. Well, 2, I guess, if you count. There was one time I was like hanging out with a friend, and I mentioned this was before my relationships, and I mentioned like, yeah, I had never done anything, and she was like, we can do something, and I'm like, cool. And so just out of like her helping me out, I guess, in terms of like, she's like, you know, letting me get experience, I guess, even though she knows I would not be good at it because it would be my first time. So I guess that was sort of a hookup, but it's someone I'm friends with, so it's not like one of those, when you first think of hookup, you think of it with like a stranger, someone you spend one night with and then never see again. And that type of thing has only happened once with me. And it was very interesting. It was like actually like a year ago. Actually, it was less than a year ago, now that I think about it. But that was an interesting experience, and I don't know how it happened, and I don't know how I would get it to happen again with someone. During this time that I've been single for the past 2 or 3 years, let me think of exactly. It was two years ago. 2 years ago was when my last relationship ended. I've been trying to figure out what I want to do next, because like at first, when the relationship first ended, I was like, okay, I need to take a break, obviously, from relationships. And so I took a break. I wasn't trying to get into another relationship, but I was also under the mindset of like, I wouldn't mind hookups. I wouldn't mind anything like that, or like a friends with benefits with someone. But my issue is that I don't know how to initiate anything like that. I have a hard time trying to initiate stuff like that. The one time it did happen, I still am trying to think about like, wait, so what did I do that made it lead up to there? What, like, I don't know. But I think I'm just having some issues in regards to what I want to do, because I really want to be in a relationship again. But I also, as someone who's single, feel like I want to experience that single, that thing about being single that you can do while single and not while you're in a relationship, which is hookups and friends with benefits and stuff like that. I want to have that experience just to say I've had the experience, I guess, or I don't know. I guess just to say I've had the experience, or that I've done it before. And I guess I have done it once, but I feel like that's like doing it once. Like, I feel like that's not, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's why I wanted to make this video. It's just because like I don't know what to do. I think I've past like year and a half, I've been on like Tinder and Bumble. And when people ask what I'm looking for, I don't know what to say because I don't know what I'm looking for. Or maybe I'm looking for both things, whichever comes first. Um, Honestly, that kind of is what it is. But I think when there's someone who starts to lean more towards a relationship, I start to back off a little bit because I guess I'm worried that I'm not going to be able to live the single life anymore, um, or get the chance to do that, get the chance to live what people consider the single life of like doing whatever. I don't know. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it is very interesting trying to figure out uh, whether I want to be in a relationship or whether I want to just stay single for a little bit. And okay, so what I want to do is like be single and have a few like hookups or like a friends with benefits or something and do that for a little bit and then go into a relationship. I feel like there's just a part of me that wants to experience that, I guess. I think that's what it is. I think a part of me just wants to experience that like regularly. Or maybe I think it will help me build my confidence. That's a way to help me build my confidence is by going up to someone that maybe I don't really know very well or just met that day, um, and trying to initiate something like that. Not because if I am able to initiate something like that, that means I have a lot of confidence. And it's honestly, I think easier to do that with someone to practice your confidence, I guess, and your flirtation skills with someone that you don't think you're ever really going to see again. It's easier to do that with someone than trying to do it on a friend that you like. Because if it's awkward or if it doesn't work, you know, you still try to have to maintain that relationship or that friendship, I mean. But if you go up to a stranger and practice your confidence, it doesn't matter if it didn't work or not, you know? I don't know. I think I really don't know what I'm saying a lot of the time. A lot of this video is me not knowing what I'm really talking about. But I really want a relationship. I really want to experience the stuff that's typical for being single. And I guess maybe I shouldn't care about what is normal when you're single, because to be honest, I don't think it is normal or doesn't come up as often for people as people think. I think there's a higher proportion of people where doing that is not the normal thing. It's a higher proportion of people like that than I think. And maybe it's not all that common, honestly. But the majority of the time I've been single since my last relationship has been COVID. And so I guess maybe that's also made us put a strain on trying to do that kind of stuff. I don't know. I'll get on like Tinder and Bumble for like nonstop for like 2 weeks straight. Like I'm just constantly swiping all the time and messaging people. And then I'll like go 3 or 4 months without ever touching the apps because I just don't care. I'm like, I'm fine being single. I'll just live my life without any sort of romantic or physical affection. Sure. But then after those 3 or 4 months, I'll come back and like just vigorously start swiping again for like 2 solid weeks straight. And then it's just that pattern keeps coming back up. And I think I don't know what I want, but I want something. I know I want something, but I just don't know what it is. And I think also part of me is unsure of I guess part of me is afraid of like, it's not the commitment itself that I'm afraid of, but it's the worry that I'm going to commit to someone and then someone else who's a better fit for me is going to come along after I have already committed myself to a different relationship. I think I'm always scared, especially with Tinder and Bumble and stuff like that, that I'm going to swipe and find someone who I think, works. They're cool. I like them a little bit. And I'm just going to start a relationship with them because I feel like I'm not going to get anything better. And then I start a relationship with them. And then 2 weeks later, someone else comes along who seems very interested in me, and they are definitely my type. And I become very interested in them. But then this weird dynamic happens because I technically already went into this relationship with someone that I was like, sure, I guess I'm not going to get anything better. And I'm worried that, I guess I'm worried about committing because I'm worried someone else that's better will end up coming along and I'll miss out on that opportunity because I'm with someone already. Because I'm not the type of person who would break up with someone just to be with someone else. I'll be the type of person that stays in a relationship because I'm scared to make other people sad. And that's definitely not the best way to go about things. And I need to work on that. But I'd have a really hard time breaking up with someone, even if I felt like it was necessary, because I don't like making people sad. I don't like being the reason for anyone's negative emotions ever at all. I think that's part of what my hesitation for getting into a relationship is. And also, I think I just don't know what type of person I want to be in a relationship with, because there's so many different types of people, and I don't really necessarily have a type. I have like a type that I'm not into. I have like a couple types that I'm definitely not into, but it seems like most people, like most people are my type, weirdly enough. Like I'm not picky in that regard, I guess. But I guess I just still feel like I need to pick a type or like figure out what I want before I like figure out specifically the type of person I want. I mean, before I go into a relationship, and only look for people who fit the type that I've decided. I don't know. Weird thing I'm going through. I don't know if I should share that. There's something I really do want to share, but I'm not sure if I should or not. I think I will, even though the reason I don't want to share it is because if anyone that I personally knows watches this, I wouldn't want them to know this. But I am purposely trying to avoid people I know watching this channel. So I hopefully none of them see this. But I don't mind telling strangers this. It's just like people I know. I don't know. Recently, maybe this is also part of my hesitation. But recently, I was hanging out with one of my best friends. I have like two best friends, but one of my best friends is someone I used to date. My two relationships, one of them, the second one, 7-month long relationship. When that ended, we became best friends. Like we've been friends since then, and we've considered each other best friends since then. Because the relationship didn't end badly. We were just like, oh, we don't have feelings for each other anymore. Okay. But recently, I think we've both kind of discovered that like it's a weird situation, because I don't know if we necessarily have feelings again, but it's definitely like if we were the only two people, if like the other person of us two was the only option available, we wouldn't complain. Like that wouldn't be an issue. A couple months ago, we were like stargazing, and we just started talking, and she said something along the lines of like, I could see myself spending the rest of my life with you. And I found that really sweet. And then she like brought up the point of, um, she said, if we're not, she said, so she made those little thing, you know, those little things where people are like, if we're not married by the time we're this age, we're gonna get married. Um, and so she brought that up. She was like, if we're not married by the time we're 40, let's get married. And I was like, 40? That's old. I want to be married before 40, please. And so we switched it to, if we're not married by the time we're 30, which is 7 years from now for me. So we kind of made that official. If we're not married, if neither of us are married by the time that I'm 30, we're just gonna get married. We made that little promise a couple months ago. But she also mentioned during that night, she said the only reason, so I'm a very indecisive person, and that's part of the reason that she didn't want to be in a relationship with me anymore, is because I'm so indecisive. I'm a very, very indecisive person. That's like one of my biggest flaws. She literally told me that night, she was like, you know, the only reason I haven't asked you out again is because of your indecisiveness. And I'm like, wait, what? So basically if I wasn't so indecisive, I guess, she would have asked me out again already, which makes me think that she does have feelings, not strong enough to ignore my indecisiveness, I guess. But that kind of started to make me think like, maybe I'm just supposed to be with this person. Part of me feels like I'm just supposed to be with this person. Sorry, my roommate started walking in the hallway. I didn't want them hearing me talking about stuff. Part of me, where was I? Part of me thinks that maybe I'm just supposed to be with this person. Like, I just feel like no matter what I do, inevitably in the long run, it's going to be me and her together. Even if it's not right now, I feel like inevitably the two of us are going to ultimately be the ones that get together for the rest of our lives. But it's also weird because I don't think either of us want to date the other person right now. I feel like both of us are in a state of like, we wouldn't mind marrying this person and spending the rest of our lives with them. But we also don't really necessarily want to date them specifically right now, which is weird. And maybe part of that is because of the distance, because she's like living 3 hours away. So I don't get to see her very often. So maybe that's the reason. But I don't know. Like even if she lived nearby, I feel like I wouldn't want to necessarily date her right now. And even though I think inevitably that's gonna be what happens, I don't know. Part of me wants, what was I saying? I think the reason maybe, even if she was nearby, the reason I wouldn't want to date her right now is because I think maybe I just want to try new experiences, and I'm frustrated at myself for being single for the past 2 years and having gotten almost no new experiences under my belt. Like I've hooked up with someone once. I've not done any friends with benefits. I've gone on like 2 dates with people. And so I think part of me is just mad at myself for not gaining new experiences. And I feel like I just want to gain new experiences for some reason. I just feel like that's important and that's necessary. Maybe to like, I think maybe me getting new experiences will help me feel better about my ultimate decision. Because I think part of me thinks if I just pick my friend and say, yes, I'm going to be with my friend, that's a great answer for me. I think part of me is going to look back and think like, okay, or maybe you just picked this person because you didn't really know of any other options you didn't really explore other options. And so you don't actually know what you like. You just pick the thing that was available to you. And I don't know if that's the case or not, but like, I think if I just went with my decision for like, this is who it will be for the rest of my life, there's going to be part of me feeling like I missed out on certain experiences and feel like I didn't, because I'm in this an indecisive person. And I feel like I like to think really long and hard about the decisions I make. And I think I just haven't seen enough options to make a decision. I don't like making decisions if I don't get to see all the options. And so I think part of me is like, well, you haven't tried this, you haven't done this, you haven't been with this type of person or this type of person. So how can you actually decide on something if you haven't tried everything or tried multiple different things? Not everything, I guess. That would be impossible. But how are you able to make a decision if you've only had like 2 experiences? Like, what if you're missing out on something better and you just don't know it? And I feel like that will always be going through my head. What if you're missing out on something better and you just don't know it? And so I feel like even if ultimately she's the one I end up with for the rest of my life, I want to have gained new experiences just to make myself feel better about the decision I've made, to make myself feel better about like, yes, this is the person. I was right. I just wanted to explore other options just in case. Does that make sense? I don't know if that makes sense. I don't know. I guess that's where I'm at. This video was supposed to be like relationships versus hookups. It didn't really turn into that very much, but regardless, I think where I'm at right now is I want to gain new experiences in general before fully committing to something. And I'm frustrated that it's been 2 years and I've barely gotten any new experiences. And I think I just don't know how. And I'm stumped as to where to go from here because everything I've tried hasn't worked so far. But like, I don't want to give up on trying, but also I want to just be in a relationship. But I feel like I can't do that yet because I haven't gotten new experiences yet. But no matter how hard I try, I'm not getting new experiences. So it's just delaying the relationship. See where I'm at? You see where I'm at? I want new experiences, but I'm not before getting in a relationship. But I'm not getting into a relationship because I haven't got the new experiences yet. But no matter how hard I try, I'm never getting new experiences. So it delays the relationship. And the relationship keeps getting delayed, but I want new experiences before getting to a relationship. New experiences still aren't coming. Like I guess that's what it is. I don't know. If you have any advice, or alternatively, if you are feeling the same way, please leave a comment. I don't know what to do, I guess. Because I guess part of me feels like, okay, I can get this new experience now. I'll get this new experience and then I'll go look for a relationship. And I think that's been my mindset this whole time. But it just hasn't come yet. And so I have not committed to a relationship yet. Frustrating. Okay. Anyways, I think that's all I wanted to talk about. Let me check my note. Yeah. I guess that's what I'm struggling with. And part of why I make these videos is so I can sort of talk to myself about this. Because I think I just learned something new about myself while making this video. But I think ultimately I still don't know what I wanted to do and what I'm looking for right now. So if you have any thoughts, get it, it's Thought Panda. If you have any thoughts, just let me know. And be sure to leave a comment. I guess I just said that. Leave a comment if you have anything to say about this. If you don't, then don't, I guess. But if you like videos like this, where it's just me pouring my heart out or me having this fun little chat, one-sided chat with you. Let me know, subscribe. That's the real question. That's the real answer. I can't say words right now. Subscribe. I'm not a good YouTuber, as you can see. Yeah, if you like this, subscribe. If you have anything to say, leave a comment. Okay, I'm making this long for no reason. Bye.